Thank you very much for coming along. As was said, my name is Iain Lovatt, and I'm CEO of Blue Group. Blue Group do customer insight to help clients understand where their money's being made or lost. Might get a balance soon on the sound system. So who in here works in businesses that are interested in making money? Yeah? No, hands up. It's interactive, this one. This is really, I want you to give me feedback instantly. Don't bother about Twitter, don't bother about Facebook. Let's have some instant feedback here. Who's got a business or works in a business that's interested in making money? Hands up. Yeah? Okay. So we're all in the same boat. So it's about making money. And it's about using clustering and customer segmentation to maximize that money. So we've all got customers, and the customers are big, small, somewhere in between, painful, loyal, transient, transactional, come back, never come back. All got experience customers like that? On the phone complaining, not on the phone complaining? Okay, so we're all in the same boat. So excuse me, I get quite nervous on days like today. And I find myself wandering. My thoughts go all over the place. And it's not because I'm talking to you. England announced their rugby team for the matches over the weekend, and I'm afraid Billy Twelvetrees, who's a Gloucester player, and I support Gloucester, could be starting, and I don't think that's right for England. So I'm feeling very nervous about our next couple of rugby matches. So excuse me if my mind wanders during the process. And why me? Why am I being asked to do this, or why am I doing this? Well, I've been in marketing for 30 years. I've been doing direct marketing and data for 25 years. And I've moved from what I'd classify as pink and fluffy, the creative end of the marketing program, to the analytical insights and trying to understand why customers do as they do. And I think that's one of the important things I've learned over those 25 years, is it's really important that we get to understand why customers do as they do. I don't do PowerPoint presentations. I find them very boring, and this might be boring for everybody else, but I find it really easier to be more interactive. So my presentation will be lots of doodles. I like to draw, because I find it helps people understand. And I'm going to cover off 4 things today. 4 things that are important to marketeers even in the digital space. And those 4 things are that, number 1 is you get what you get because you do as you do. It's one of those Donald Rumsfeld, known unknowns or unknown unknowns. Because you do your marketing in whatever way you do it, you get the customers that you get. And if you did things differently, you may well get a different set of customers. So that's part 1. Part 2 is I'm going to talk about all data is biased, and it's biased by its method of collection or for the purpose it was collected for. Okay, and we all exist in a digital data-powered world. Third, which is the really important part, and where the meat of the presentation is, which is that all customers are not equal. So, who believes that the customer is king? Hands up if you think the customer is king. Go on, anybody? Customer is king? Yeah? No, not true. Some customers are king, but not all customers are king. The customer's only king when they prove it to you. And they prove it to you by spending money, being loyal, and coming back time and time again. And the 4th part is that the data is only one element of your intelligence. And we need to aggregate data from a lot of sources to get where we want to get to. Okay, so those are the 4 things I want to cover off. So that's page 1 of 5 pages, by the way. And I'm happy to give people copies of this at the end if they want them. So there's only 5 pages. It might only last 40 minutes, but hopefully you'll get something out of it. And is the volume painful? No? No? Okay. So what I'm going to cover up is, sorry, Ivan? Black pen? Black pen?
Black pen instead.
There, thank you. 1. Yeah, you get what you get because you do as you do. So digital marketing strategies, because we're all here about digital marketing. So what digital marketing do we use? Email, hands up if you use email. Yeah, no, hands up really, that's hands up. Okay, Facebook, SEO, PPC, yeah. Direct mail, less. Good old-fashioned telephone. Okay, face-to-face, so a few. Okay, but mainly people in here are using SEO, PPC, Facebook, and email. Okay, so the customers you get are the ones that are happy to use SEO, PPC, Facebook. Are they potentially your best customers? Yeah, you think they are? Okay. So what does your digital marketing strategy deliver to the business? Does it deliver leads? Sales? How do you measure those sales? Go on. Shout loud. I can't hear. Oh. Don't go past the speakers. Okay, I'll come back to that one. So your digital spend, is it going up or down? Hands up if it's going up. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Is that hands up? No, 26. 26 on the up. How many going down? Digital marketing spend's going down next year? None. Okay. So we all think digital marketing's our future. So anybody read Marketing Week this week? That good old-fashioned, paper sort of type of thing. There's a chap in there by the name of Mark Ritson, who was presenting down in Australia, had said and wrote an article in Marketers Are in Denial About Social Media's Real Value. And he wrote that article because in the process of analyzing what's happening on Facebook and social media and email and people following brands, 3/4 of the people that responded, answers were ignored. Because the reporter determined that they said no, they don't follow any brand on Facebook, and therefore their answers would be invalid. Okay? So only 1/4 of the answers were providing the insight that was going to drive his argument forward. And what he was saying was marketers are using biased figures. They're adopting the knowledge around social media to try and prove that it's working. Okay? So to be very careful about how we use and read marketing insight around social media. And then following on the same magazine, Russell Davis, who is the czar of the digital world according to HM.gov, said to avoid innovation like the plague. So that's really, really strange in a digital sphere to be talking about avoiding innovation and marketers being biased about social media and avoiding the reality that in truth, we don't know whether it's really as valuable as we think it is. Okay? So I'm just putting up what people are saying. So in terms of business, I've got 4 things that matter to a company. So number 1, I think businesses are generally lazy. They want to do the easy way. If I can get a customer easily, I want that way more than anything else. So I call that ease of acquisition, but it really defines the laziness of a business. Second thing is they want revenue or profit. Yeah? The third thing is they're looking for future potential. What does the future hold? Are these customers going to grow or decline? Are they one-off? Are they multiple? And the fourth thing I put up there is cost to serve. How much does it cost me to acquire and service those customers? Okay? Anybody want to add anything else to those four? So I'm going to ask you all, okay, in terms of ranking order, I want you to stick your hand up if you think number one, i.e. the ease of acquisition, is the most important element of your marketing strategy. Okay, no one. Revenue or profit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 there, 0 there. Future potential. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. I count you there, Ivan. Cost to serve. How much it costs you to acquire or service those customers now and in the future? No one? One? Okay. And a whole bunch of people that don't know. And that's fine. Okay. So now we're really into what I consider to be the meat of this presentation. Anybody had a chance to read this lovely book here? It's called Average is Over. And the gentleman that wrote it is a chap by the name of Tyler Cowen. No? Nobody had a chance to read it? It's not a marketing book. It's a very dry economist book. And he is rated one of the most influential economists of the last decade, and Bloomberg has dubbed him America's hottest economist. He doesn't look very hot to me, ladies, and I'm sorry. He's a really sort of good old-fashioned, and I'm going to say hamburgered out American, really, if that's right. Anyway, it's a lovely book, Average is Over. Okay, so in the UK right now, average income is about £25,000. People know that, about 25 grand. But the average wages of people, where 50% are above and below, is about 20 grand a year. If you're up to the upper end, if you're a lawyer or a doctor, surgeon, you're about 100 grand. You're in the top 5%. But if you earn below £350 a year, you're in the bottom 45% a week. Okay? And what he's arguing is the changes that we're experiencing in the digital economy are going to see the polarization of those two camps. So what we've got at the moment is we've got a bunch of people, about 45% of the population sit in the middle. And they're going to differ. They're going to change dramatically in the next 5 to 10 years. In that we're going to find a lot of people moving down the income bracket where their average wages are going to decline. And there's a bunch of people working in technology and accounting and legals, income's going to grow. So there's a chap by the name of Alfredo Pareto. Anybody heard of Pareto principle? 80-20, yeah? It's coming even more to where we are in the world today. He was an Italian economist of 1840 or 1850 that saw that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. And the income we're going to experience in the future is going to be 80% of the income is going to be earned by 20% of the population. And that is going to speed up. And this book talks about it. And if you look at the way ONS are studying at the moment, they're starting to see it. It's starting to happen. Okay? And I say that not because I want to scare everybody, because, that would be silly, but it shows up in our marketing. And it shows up in our marketing quite dramatically. And Blue Sheep, or Blue Group, do customer insight. And when we're analyzing customer databases, we're starting to see these trends come out. And we see marketing spend. If we did the two key things that mattered in the world were ease of acquisition and profit. So if this is ease of acquisition, and this is profit, marketing is spent equally amongst all the groups on this diagram, these 4 quadrants. You know, it varies slightly. If you add in future potential, it doesn't make a lot of difference. It doesn't change the way marketing is spent. If you take your customers and you segment them into how easy they are to acquire and how much money they make for you, no matter what they look like, and you try and cluster them together by age and sex or business type and size, you would start to see them appearing in each of these quadrants. So if they were easy to acquire and they made you good revenue or profit, most businesses want more of them. Yes? Who would want more of those sorts of clients? I don't spend a lot of money and I get lots of money in return. So these are treasure accounts. I want to have accounts like this. I won't do these two, but the opposite is true at this end, where they're difficult to acquire and they don't spend a lot of money. I don't want those. These are our avoid accounts. And they're avoid because, we'll come to that just in one second if I can. Because what we then, for each of these customer groups, would create what we would call, what you would call a lava map of income. So what you try and do is you measure the revenue you're generating from your customer group. So if you generate your revenue, you can see a lava map that looks very much like this. So what it shows quite clearly is that 80% of your revenue is coming from these 2 customer cells and are about 20% of your customers. And only 20% of your revenue is coming from the groups of customers down here. But if you layer on top of that your cost to serve, as well as your cost to acquire, we see very clearly a lava map going in the totally opposite direction. So this is costing you 80% of your cost to serve and is generating only 20% of your revenue.